Hello, everybody. So the last 30 minutes I have spent doing reviews, talking about stuff, all that fun stuff. Um, my apologies. Now I went live. I got it open on time. I just didn't go on live on time because I can't see. So, give you a brief overview of what this is going to be about so that everybody has an idea, right? I don't want to be one of those guys that just makes you watch to the entire end of the video to see the part you cared about. The links for the products are in the description. They're already there. Up front, I'm not sponsored. I'm not monetized. I don't have affiliate links. I make nothing out of this. I have no reason to tell you anything but how I actually feel. Because it's smaller, I'll go through the Ozark Trail 10-piece bottle combo. And I did not do good preparation and look up the price, but I think it was like $681. Could be wrong. You can click the link in the description. You'll find out. And what this comes with is a 20-ounce vacuum insulated stainless steel bottle, two 14-ounce stainless steel cups with silicone sleeve and lid, a cleaning brush, two stainless steel straws with silicone tip, two fork and spoon combos, the Mighty Fork, a 10-in-1 multi-tool pocket card, and a carry case with carabiner. So it comes rolled up. The cups and the tumbler fit in here, and then everything else is in here. So your silicone tips and your two straws. Your two straws come here. Your silicone tips are in here. Your silicone lids are in this little compartment here. That comes in this navy blue trim and also like an aqua blue trim. So we'll start with the 20-ounce insulated thingamajiggy bottle. Do they call it a tumbler? I don't think they call it a tumbler. Stainless steel bottle. There we go. Vacuum insulated, I won't say Yeti style, but you get the idea. Now, it's a bottle. It's not a drinking container. So if you want to drink, you have to take the lid off. There's no way to drink with the lid on. And of course, it just screws on, and I assume is watertight. That would be stupid not to be. And then, of course, you get this ring where you can tie it off to things, tie it on your backpack, whatever. Okay. The stainless steel cups. I don't know if you all got those silly camping kits that had a little skillet and a whole bunch. It was like as kids, we had them all the time because there was no reason. I don't know, probably green stamps at the time. I'm old. Leave me alone. So they had little cups in there. So these are lightweight, right? They're not going to stand up to a whole lot of abuse, but they are stainless steel, and just squeeze them like this. I can get a little flex out of them. It says that they are 14 ounce, if they say so. Comes with a silicone lid. It's a soft silicone. It's I'll call it flimsy, and there's a couple of pieces of wow. So definitely want to wash these first. Not that you wouldn't anyway, but a couple of pieces of silicone have come off. I think that's just from the molding process and such. The silicone tips, I haven't put them on all the way. They come separate in there, and it's not a watertight seal by any stretch. You can see the lid moves up and down as I pull it. But it's pretty much just barely over the size of the straw. And it's kind of, now, remember again that, here, let me use the straw, it doesn't have anything on it. So the straw is about twice the size or twice the height of the cup. But it is what it is, and it does have this little silicone rings to help you not burn your hand and to give you a good grip. Yeah, those, we've done those. We've talked about the silicone tips. The straws go in here next to the cleaning brush. There's two straws, two tips, all that fun stuff. Of course, you have the roll-up bag. You have the multi-tool. These things are all the rage. Everybody wants to have one in the pocket, or at least that's what I understand. But are they really that important? No. Are they really that useful? Probably not. It does have various wrenches that you can use on various size nuts. It has a sharpened edge, no blood here. Um, and the point is not extremely pointed, but it is sharpened both on the the short edge, but the longer piece there, and then this little short piece is also sharpened, sort of. You've got, I can only assume that this is a bottle opener and that this is a bottle opener, and you've got some measurements here, but it doesn't have numbers on it, just the little hash marks. And I don't think they're inches. I don't know what they are. You have a hole so you can attach to a carabiner. It's probably one of those 10-in-1 functions. I don't know. Bottle opener again, if I didn't say so. Little flathead screwdriver, sort of. A saw. Now this actually, it's got decent serrations on it. I mean, it's not cutting skin, but it really shouldn't. But it's, inch and a half long, maybe. So I don't know what it's going to be good for. There's a slot here. I don't know what that's for. No slot. And then there's this circle with a little divot on the side, and it's got little tick marks around it. I'm assuming this is some kind of weird sundial. I don't know what it is. It's fairly sturdy. It's not like the ones you get that are just razor thin. And it has its own little case that fits in here. And you got your forks. Bless their little hearts. They put serrations here on the edge. They are useless. You ain't cutting anything with these. It's plastic serrations. What do you want? A 4-tine fork. About the size of a salad fork, I'd say, as far as the depth of the tines. And then, of course, you've got a spoon-ish on this side. Why I say a spoon-ish is because this lip is not folded up. So as far as, getting a big old bite of soup or something out of this is good luck, right? Probably fish out the big pieces and then drink it. I don't know. But you get 2 of those as well. So that's that. I got it because it was cheap. Let's get this bad boy somewhat put back together. And here. I'll throw it on the floor and do like Danny Stone says, well, Station will clean it up later. Here's the star of the show. Okay. Just got this in today. It comes in both a backpack style and a tackle bag style. I only got the backpack style, but as soon as I saw this one, I went ahead and ordered the tackle bag style as well. Okay. I've already taken parts out of this. So let me, like I said, I did a full review. It just wasn't live when I did it. So the first thing I liked about it, it's got a metal clips, lightweight, probably aluminum. But it's not one of those plastic snaps that if you accidentally step on it, you're out of water. Okay. So at the front, you have this one pocket. This comes over. So you got this 3700 size box. There's a zippered compartment right here that holds another 3700 size box. Okay. You have 2 little mesh pockets on the front. They are sewn in the center, so it's 2 pockets. You've got just a ton of MOLLE. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 MOLLEs on the front. You've got these guys on the sides. They're thinner, but they're still that MOLLE style, in my opinion, whatever you want to call it. So you got 4 on this side, 4 on this side. You have 2 of these like carabiner holders, or so you can hook a carabiner into 1, 2 on this side, 1, 2 on the other. These side pockets are the same on both sides. They're fairly large. They both have this I thought these were put headphones through or something. So it's rubberized and all that, and the hole points upward, but on the inside, the hole is not there. So I guess they left it sealed in case you wanted to use that. You can poke the hole so that so you're using the minimum size you need to get your 3.5 millimeter connector through there. I don't know. But these are, I say, good size. More MOLLE, and then another much wider piece here. So this is, it feels like a rubberized coating over a mesh fabric. I say that because I can see in the middle there's some kind of mesh fabric. I haven't even looked at this. Just going to see if it gives. Features. Here we go. It includes 5 of the 3,700 utility boxes, which it does. Has a large main compartment. Is that a feature? I mean, don't they all? Quick access front pocket with GT clip closure, padded grab handle, adjustable and comfortable shoulder straps, water resistant, and a compression molded bottom. It says it's 16.5 inches by 11 inches by 23.6 inches. I would have thought there would be more features I'd want to talk about. It is Realtree officially licensed, which actually kind of turned me off on it because I'm not much on licensed products. They tend to be, we'll say your name and you can use our name on your product, and it doesn't matter how crappy it is as long as you give us some money. Those rubberized pieces are on both sides. The talked about. You got the mesh on the outside of these side pockets. Now, this is really neat. Now, this will not hold a 3,700 box. I'd say it probably hold a 3,600 box. And I'll take the. I always latch this thing and then go back to show you something. There. Okay. So a 3,700 will fit width-wise, but not lengthwise. There are 24 compartments in here, and the last compartment won't fit. So, like I say, I think a 3,600 would fit probably just fine. It's not plastic. It's like a hard EVA foam, I'm guessing. But it's nice because not only can you put something in there, probably weights and stuff like that, but when you set it down on the ground, of course, depending on what you've got in it, it's not going to keep it from tipping over if you have, unequal weight, but it sits up by itself. It's like a 2-year-old. Inside, you have the large main compartment. It's kind of interesting because these zippers, they go backwards a little bit as opposed to being just straight up and down. You got 3 more compartments in here. They fit just fine, and a little bit of room for other stuff if you decide you need that. Sorry, my computer's updating. And you've got, this is a padded handle. I didn't recognize it at first because it didn't, but so you carry it by this. Now, here's what really sold me right off the bat before I even cared about anything else. The backpack straps, first you've got the center clip. You can't really see it well, but it rides on this piece of like fabric that's wrapped around either a metal or plastic, or there's some way that it's rigid in there and has a larger piece that these ride up and down. So you can go from here with these, the piece that joins them in the back, all the way down to almost the bottom. So you can, so depending on where you want to adjust these at, and assuming you're that flexible, if you are, congratulations to you. So you got about a 1/2 inch, I'd say, of thick, and not thick, firm, like EVA foam. You've got carabiner clips. You've got, again, Molly style stuff. They're very large. They're not like, the smaller depth ones. So you've got, like I say, kind of a more firm EVA style, I'm guessing, foam right here in this, in the straps. But you also have a soft foam that's in these little black pieces here. They go up and down the back as well. So it pads your back as well as your shoulders and arms and whatever. There's another, again, little carabiner attachment place here on each side. It's a nice little outfit. Again, for $25, it says it normally goes for like 40 or something, which again seems kind of low to me considering how nice this is. Like I say, it comes with 5 boxes. I believe that the tackle bag comes with 8 of these boxes. These are not made by Plano. I use Plano's numbering system. So The hinges on the back are a little loose. You can't take apart these long dividers, but you can take the short ones out. Starts off with 24. Of course, you can take these out. Each compartment is rounded on the bottom. So anything that you put in this row, column, whatever it is, while it can push through to other sides, you can't get under these, which is, of course, very nice. It has a ruler on it as well. Goes up to 12 inches. Starts in an odd spot. So 0 is here and 12 is here. So you got, a little longer on both sides. Anyway, the plastic latches are not very wide, and I don't know how long they're going to last. So these are not Plano quality, at least not the top Plano stuff, quality boxes. But, for backstock at home and stuff, not a bad piece. Again, those are $25 on sale right now. I liked it so well, like I said, I went ahead and ordered the tackle bag version as well, because that's me. I had also gone through the stickers Skipjack Cindy had sent me. Very nice of her. I got a Skipjack Cindy's Outdoor Adventures. That's her channel. Got a small sticker from her, and Travis from No BS Catfishing. That's his channel. They fish as a couple. A flathead sticker from Catfish, or try again, from Skipjack Cindy's Outdoor Adventures. I got a Sandy Toes sticker and another of No BS Catfishing, one of the smaller stickers. So thank you very much for that, Cindy. Again, that's Cindy's Outdoor Adventures, Skipjack Cindy's Outdoor Adventures, and No BS Catfishing, which is Travis. I also received, again, not sponsored, remember that. I do have a River Cats tackle hat here. I got that from a drawing, a giveaway. I won that. And Bugman22 won these. They're River Cats tackle 12-aught circle hooks. Okay. And he was like, I don't have fish here that want a 12-aught size hook, so he let me have them. So in theory, these were one in a giveaway as well. So yes, they're free, but they were not, there's no sponsorship whatsoever. I know Danny Stone Outdoors, another YouTube channel, he is sponsored by them, and I think Creole Catfishing is as well. I could be wrong on that, but I know he has a good relationship with the folks at River Cats Tackle. So these, I talked to the owner of these because I never want to go, oh, look, hook. They're a light wire. If he says so, for 12-aught, they probably are. But they're formidable by any view of the imagination. It's a little thicker than the shaft of the ink pen tip. They have a large eye on them, big enough that you can get like trout line twine through if you so desire. And I do have some, I don't remember, these 10 or 12-aughts that I got from Temu. The difference is where River Cats does their offset is more on the shank, and the hooks from Temu, it's more in this bend here. Just comparison. I've not gotten hooks from Temu that I really liked yet, so don't think I'm endorsing Temu. I do like some of their stuff, but I also know it's mostly cheap stuff. So anyway, back to the 12-aught hooks from River Cats Tackle. Again, link in the description for all of the products I reviewed. Well, all the River Cats website is linked, not the specific product, but the items from Walmart I did. They're mechanically sharpened and then heat treated twice. The shipping's included in the hook price. There's no minimum. The offset is done before the heat treatment. It's got a 15-degree offset. They're based in Louisiana, and they're online only. Okay. So, with J hooks, as long as they're strong enough, sharpening them is pretty easy. Sharpening a circle hook, not so easy. So it's worth it to me to spend more to get a sharp hook. And these, you know, with a little bit of pressure, they do dig in just fine to my thumbnail. Like I say, people who I respect have fished with these and had good luck with them. Sorry, I'm grabbing another Temu hook off the side here. Whereas these Temus mostly just skate. If you push hard enough, it'll grab. But again, not a big fan of hooks off Temu that I've gotten yet. But you know, I'm a sucker, and that's how I do things. So here's a comparison with a quarter. So you're not even. You've still got at least the width of a nickel before you ever touch the point when this is up against the shaft. So they're big hooks. I mean, there you go. There's no, you know, I'm not trying to change the reference point here. These are in line with each other. So there you go. It's hard to find hooks this size. They're very nice. Offset hooks, offset circle hooks. So circle hooks are used for those who just are new to fishing in general, or catfishing or whatever. Circle hooks have a much lower mortality rate than J hooks, etc. And that's because the fish can swallow the hook. I'm going to use the less sharp hook because I'd rather not lose fingers. So they can swallow the hook, and because the point is inward, it doesn't catch coming out of their throat if they've swallowed it. Now, an offset hook can catch in the throat more than a non-offset hook, but you also get better hookup rates with offset hooks. Some tournaments don't allow offset hooks. The difference is offset or inline, and the offset refers to whether the shank and the point of the hook are in the same plane, whether they're flat or to the side offset. Okay, so that's what the offset means there. Most people I know use offset circle hooks. Again, they have a higher hookup rate. There's a slightly larger chance that they could get gut hooked, but that's very, very, very infrequent. I didn't grab a price on these. I know that they're not, 10-cent hooks, but they're nice. They're nice quality hooks, and the owner is a really nice guy. If you have any questions, you can call him up and talk to him, and he'll answer everything to the best of his ability. So that goes over the reviews in addition to the deals. So if all you came for were the deals and the discounts or in the reviews, you can go away. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. I really do. I just didn't want to be one of those channels that makes you watch a long time before they get to what you actually want to see. And yes, the sad part is the way I knew. So I finally got my computer up and I looked at chat and I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm going to say hi to everybody in chat. We can talk about all kinds of fun stuff. 922, how you doing? No, I've not been watching Stan too long. I did not catfish you. I was just too stupid to hit the start button. Wait. Maybe I should have just said I catfished you. River Rat 3030, how you doing? Oh, are we sure if this is Mid-South? This one's nice. Meanie. Yeah, want to be outdoors. It's a good size pack. Yeah, I should have probably said how many there were in here. Now you're going to make me try to count. I'm going to count the eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one says 11. Make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is 11. Look at me learning how to count. Yeah, and want to be outdoors. Matt was like, yeah, licensed products oftentimes are cheap. And that, again, I don't care about the camo look. Don't care about any of that. I think I told you that this pack comes in either this navy blue or the aqua. I did it on one of the two versions of this. That I don't know if it was a live one or the one that I thought was live. Let's see. Did I know that the top of my finger to the first bend of my finger is an inch? Ash is going to make me measure. I'm about 1.25 inches, darling. Of course, depending on the finger I use. Pinky is, yeah, still a little over. So you just have smaller hands than I do, dear. My mic works good. I actually use my Bluetooth earbuds. It's a Jabra. The thing that I don't like about the Jabras is, if you start going low on the right ear, you can't put the left ear in because they sync together. You can use the right by itself, but not the left by itself. But I do like that, you can mute and hang up by pushing the button, where a lot of mute anyway. A lot of the cheaper earbuds, they don't have a mute function on the earbud itself. It's kind of annoying. 3/4 inches, 922 crappie barbecue. Did you have a bad accident when you were fishing one day and cut off the tip of your finger? I don't know. They're arguing about 3/4 inch or 1 inch. You know how men aren't measuring. We'll leave it at that. I sawed it off when I was a kid. Yep, that's you. Jody works in a sewing factory. It's 1 inch. Your finger must be a second. Ha! Yeah, it's a factory second. You got it cheap. Yeah, like the body that hits a defect. Yeah, like the body it's attached to. Let's see. The commercial pronounces it Tamu. I don't care. It's still Timu. I can spell. Does it look like I drew my eyebrows on? They're real hair. I mean, I do trim them with a little thingamajiggy. I trimmed them yesterday, so they may be a little short, but no. At least I don't have the unibrow. Just saying. Let's see. Jody, you ain't right. Hey, Freedom Redbird, good to see you, darling. Jody came to troll me like I do her. Good job, darling. Anytime you want to troll me, I'm here for you. Let's see. And he was talking about the backpack. Jody's always trolling. That does sound like me. See, Manscaped Scott. Jesus. YouTube turned off on. Oh, Matt, I am sorry. We went over where you can get free rods and reels while you were gone. Man, I'm so sorry that you missed it. Sucks to be you. Okay. Now, for those of you who hate money and have gear acquisition syndrome, this is for you. If, on the other hand, you know that you spend too much on gear and assorted nonsense, stuff that you probably really don't need, but you buy it anyway because you're addicted to buying stuff and having it delivered to your house, you need to turn off right now, okay? So where I found both of these deals on the Walmart stuff was from a site called slickdeals.net. They also have an app that you can download from the Android store or the Apple store or whatever. You can sign up and get deal alerts. And I'm telling you this for one thing. So you want to turn off all their notifications once you install the app, but you can set up deal alerts. I have one for fishing, and what I've gotten, not just these items, but it's not there anymore. Please don't get mad at me. They had the Spinfisher 6 6,500 reel with a 10-foot pin rod. Not an exciting rod, but it's still a rod. It's 10 feet long. And they also had the 4,500s with 7 foot. And, there were a few different ways to go. There was the 4,500 and the 7,500, 4,500, 6,500, as well as the 4,500 and 6,500 live liner, but only in 7-foot models. Those were $139. Those are saltwater reels. They're sealed. They're good things. They were good buy. I got 2. I'm still kicking myself for not getting more. Again, the deal's gone. There was a Pin Pursuit 4 combo for $39. Came with a 1-piece 7-foot medium action rod, fast tip. If I remember correctly, the mono was 10 to 17 pound and the braid was 10 to 30 pounds. Again, nothing fabulous on the rod, but the Pursuit 4 reel goes for more than that by itself. And I tell you this because we are in closeout season or model change season, right? So, you may find items that you like at a discount. sometimes a really good discount. You need to know what you're buying. Don't look at a deal and try to think about it 3 days later because it'll probably be gone. Okay, but there you go. You also have to watch out for some of the deals that they post are not really that good because they do get compensated when you click on their link and go through and buy stuff. Anyway, I've said that. Slickdeals.net or the Slick Deals application. The Penn stuff is saltwater spinning combos. Those two that I talked about where they often have other things. Remember when the $60 reels or whatever, the Abu Garcia catfish specials, they had those. They had the carp special which still had the power handle. It's just a Abu 6500 C3 that's got a special paint job and words on it. But they were going for $60 or so. They're normally at least $150. So, and I think it was a model change again. Big deal. Who cares? But that deal I also found off of there. So there's a lot that you need to, there's a lot of good deals on there. There's a lot of deals. So if you know what you're looking for, etc. Now I'm going to talk about, I talked about the 2 Penn deals, and I'm going to talk about why I got them. So my girlfriend's dad has a place down in Florida. I've been once and I stayed there for 2 days, and I'm hooked on saltwater fishing. It's much like catfishing, kind of combined with bass fishing. So you can do the set rigs where you just cast it out there with some bait on it and let the fish hook itself, and then you can also throw out top waters and jigs and stuff and catch fish that way. So it's kind of best of both worlds, and it's also sand at your feet, the smell and sound of the ocean and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, but freshwater reels don't work well in saltwater. Saltwater is highly corrosive, and you want to keep as much out as you can. I talked about the Ozark Trail saltwater reels. They've gone back to normal price, but I had a video on those as well. And $20 for a saltwater rated reel with 13 seals in it was a good deal, even though they're not the best reels. But for $20, what do you want? I like the saltwater reels, and the reason I like them is again the seals. So even in freshwater, it helps keep stuff out. I have never understood, and it's also because I'm not an engineer. But you look at the rear end of old trucks, and they used gear oil in them. It was a sealed unit with gear oil. I don't know why reels don't have an oil bath that all the gears and stuff stay in, so you don't have to worry about grease getting thick and chunky and nasty and all that. I don't know. To me, it just seems like it would be a better way. But again, I'm not an engineer. Now with freshwater reels, of course, you could pour water into them and it'll pour right out, even when it's closed, because they're not sealed. So I like saltwater reels for that reason. The seals do give you a little more drag when you're trying, when you're reeling. They're not quite as smooth as freshwater reels. Let's see. I'm gonna look at chat again. See what we've got going on. Pontoon Jody, what about my nose hairs? No, that's my beard. That's my mustache tickling up. Leave me alone, woman. Let's see. Glacier Shark, how you doing, my friend? Where's the deals? Okay, so Glacier Shark, at the very beginning are the deals. I'm not one of those guys that when I do a stream or a video, put the teaser in the front and all the good stuff in the back. But the deals are, and they're in the link, they're in the description. Whoops. You can get this either in a tackle bag or a backpack or bag. I did a good review. I think it's a good review on the tackle backpack. If you want to look at features and stuff, it does come with 5. Cheap is the word I'd use. 3,700 boxes. The bag version comes with 8 of those. Again, they're not worthless, but they're not plain old quality for those boxes. I think the backpack's a killer deal. It does not have any rod holders. I mentioned that once, but I don't think it was during the part where I was actually live. because some of them do have rod holders, you know, the rod on each side on the backpack, but those do not. They're $25 each. I got the backpack today and went ahead and ordered the bag too today because I liked it that much. It's a nice backpack from everything I can see. I've not taken it out and used it because it just got here today. And as Pontoon Jody will tell you, I fish once every 6 years. But I really like it. I thought it was a heck of a deal. It shows that the regular price is like 40, but I don't believe that, honestly. You get too much for it. And there's a link for this. It's a 10-piece bottle combo. It comes with a stainless steel bottle, which the lid you can't drink out of. You can't drink with the lid on. 2 of these little 14-ounce stainless cups with a little silicone sleeve on them so you don't burn your pretty hand, with silicone lids, straws, and a brush cleaner for those, two plastic forks, and a silly little multi-tool that I clearly didn't need to have because I've already lost it. It's pretty good. I'm impressed with myself on that. Oh, it's in here. It's in the compartment. It was a little flimsy case, but tool is, I don't know, a couple millimeters thick. Again, it's as useful to me. I can't find a real use for a multi-tool like this. Maybe in a huge pinch, but other than that, and it comes in a roll up, and they come in this navy trim as well as an aqua color trim. It's got pockets on the outside. It has 2 pockets. Of course, when you roll it up, then of course they bind up a little bit more. Velcro closure, carabiner. Yeah. So those are the 2 deals. It's like, I want to say it's like $6.81. Although it could be crazy and it's a little different than that. Links are in the description. Also talked about the River Cats tackle hooks. Again, you can go back and watch from the beginning because everything, I didn't start the jibber jabbering and interacting with chat and saying hi and everything until after I got that out of the way, because I want to be one of those channels that gives you the stuff up front as opposed to, hey, great deal at the end of the video. Just keep watching. At some point, I'll tell you. So there you go. I thought those were 2 good deals. Also talked about slick deals. Again, you can rewatch the video from the beginning and you'll hear about that, which is a great place to find deals on stuff that you do need and that you don't need. Some are deals, some are not. You get the idea. But there you go. So I was talking about the saltwater stuff. So I really like saltwater equipment. I think I haven't tried it yet. I think I may convert from my bait casting setups to just using spinning setups for catfishing. You do have the line twist that's associated with spinning reels. Spinning reels with heavy mono do not work well. I'm just sorry, because the mono has so much memory. You got to get the first stripper eye's got to be so big, and it doesn't give you great results. But if you're using braid is very supple. It's right up there with the word moist. But anyway, so it doesn't need as large a stripper guide. It flows through the line or through the eyes better. And if you want to use a shock leader made out of mono, you can certainly do that. And there's a knot out there. It's called the SC knot. It's a little tedious to make, but it's easy to make. And when done right, it's a very thin knot, because neither one of the lines the mono is not doubled over, so you don't get that extra thickness. It basically wraps around the mono and then digs into it when you set the knot. So you could put on, like a 20-pound shock leader if you wanted. So you've got the abrasion resistance of mono, etc., and it still go through the eyes nice and easy. There's also the FG knot, but I like the SC knot. That's Sam Cooper knot. It's not named after Sam Cooper, but those are the letters. And F is in Frank, G is in Gabriel knot. I like the SC knot better. It seems easier to tie and all that kind of fun stuff. You don't have to torque things different directions. It seems like a pretty good knot. One thing I also want to discuss. Okay, I don't have any mono handy that would make it easy to show. But for catfishing folks, one of the things that we like are double hook rigs. Well, the saltwater guys, and I don't know that they invented it. I don't know who invented. I don't care who invented it. We'll get into who invented what on another show, that because I just don't care. Props to everyone who came before you, and everything now it seems to be mostly derivative work, but that's a whole other story for a whole other day. But what they do is, instead of the double hook rig where it's in line, where you tie one and it's actually right there at the main line, it comes off, and you can choose how long you want to make that standoff. And it's not really a standoff in that it's not going to stay, pushed off, but it gives you distance from the main line. And there's two ways to do it. You can leave it double when you tie the knot, or you can double mono, or you can cut one of the legs of the mono, so it's just a single leg coming out, and then tie on your hook that way. Anyway, I'm going to do a rigging board for my Pompano rigs, which is, if you look up Pompano rig and how to make one, you'll see the methodology I'm talking about. One thing that they do in the saltwater on these Pompano rigs that I don't really like is, like I say, normally comes off with a loop. So they take the loop and they just wrap it around, basically do a hitch or whatever over the circle hook, and that doesn't give you that straight pull that you want from the circle hooks. The snell functionality, basically, it doesn't snell them. And I'm working on figuring out a way that I can make it feel more like a snell, so it's got that so it doesn't flop around as much. So the fish can't flop around quite as much. And I think it was Roger, maybe it's somebody else from Muskrat Adventures, but Roger from Muskrat Adventures, I should say, that talked about, if you just tie it on like a normal hook for a circle hook, you don't get nearly as good of results. So, and of course, with everything, your mileage may vary, because there you go. You can see, go back to chat, because I went on and left all that stuff up. Yeah, so Matt, let me show you. I've got one of the reels right here. If y'all see my pajama pants, well, whatever. This is one of those reels. This is the 4,000. They also had the 6,000. And it's the OTSR 4,000 and 6,000. Like I say, they're not on sale anymore. It's a 3+1 ball bearing on these. They're, the noise is just the mono hitting the bail. They're fairly, smooth enough, and 13 internal seals, and I've not counted all of them, but I've looked and I've seen several of them. The 4,000 has a nice little firm EVA knob on it. I avoided EVA for the longest and thought cork handle on rods were the greatest thing. And then I'm like, oh, hang on. These are not like, I always thought they'd be mushy, like foam rubber, that kind of stuff. Nope. Now, something that's good from Temu, whatever it is, they sell heat shrink tubing. So you can put heat shrink tubing over your cork to keep the cork pristine and still give you a good grip and such. Also, you can put it over your EVA handles and that kind of stuff. It's nice to have. It's not terribly expensive. I'm going to say $4 or $5 for enough, for like 3 feet of it. You slap it on, throw a heat gun on it, voila. So there's that. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, I really like that backpack, even though it's a co-branded or whatever licensed product from Realtree. It does not seem like a bad product. Redbird, saltwater is very interesting. With freshwater, and you'll have to forgive me because I don't live where there's muskie and walleye and sauger and sogeye and all that kind of stuff. And maybe it's because I grew up fishing in ponds and stuff. I can't tell you red horse sucker from I don't know what other sucker and this sucker and that sucker, but most part, what your bluegill are. You know how to stay. You know which fish are going to have limits and which one aren't. Saltwater is such a cornucopia of fish, where I watch these guys and sometimes they catch interesting things. I forget what it's called, and I've seen them in aquariums before, but it's a very thin fish. I mean, like really thin fish, but about this big. And I'm like, well, I get any email with that. But it's one of those things that when you pull in a fish, you want to make sure you've got the right fish, and and you have the right regulations, and you know what those regulations are, or you can easily find them so that you don't run afoul of the law. And game laws, they're there for a reason. I absolutely understand that. But at some point, I think there also needs to be some grace. If you accidentally take something and you're like, man, I thought this was a something. Like your mangrove snappers and your red snappers and your whatever snappers, they all have different. Okay, red snapper is pretty easy to tell because it's red, but you get the idea. Your groupers, your gag grouper, you can keep during some parts of the year. Your Goliath grouper, you can't. But a small Goliath grouper, I would look and go, oh, that's a grouper. Well, no, you'd have to know which grouper it is. But they have the pompano fish, which are the main thing that they fish for from the surf, from the beach. They've got sheep's head, which are drum. They've got the red drum, which is redfish. And they also have black drum, which the juvenile black drum and the juvenile sheep's head kind of look alike as far as coloration. The sheep's head are the ones, the first time I saw a picture, I thought it was a Photoshop job. They have teeth that look like human teeth. Whereas the black drum is more of a downward facing sucker type mouth, suckerish type of mouth, kind of like a white drum is in freshwater. So that's the thing that bothers me is it's like, well, what is this? A mackerel versus a bluefish versus a hardtail versus it's those kind of things that kind of scare me. And again, and maybe it's just because I just feel like saltwater fish identification is a lot easier. With catfish, doesn't really matter if it's a flathead or a channel or a blue. They have similar regulations for the most part, right? Doesn't matter if you're catching a spotted bass or a Florida largemouth or a standard largemouth. Same limits apply. That kind of thing. And again, maybe I'm just oversimplifying it because I have so many years of experience fishing freshwater, and I have zero in saltwater. Yeah, my fear. Here's a good example of my fears. Right. So you throw a cast net in freshwater. You know what a sunfish looks like. You know what a crappie looks like. You know what your shad. You don't care if it's a thread pin or drawing a blank on the other one that everyone. But it doesn't really matter. They're shad. You can keep whatever you want. Now, up in other areas, they have the American shad and the hickory shad and stuff. They have to actually care. But if I'm throwing out there and I go, oh well, I got this big school of baitfish. I assume these are mullet. Well, maybe they're not mullet and they're a school of baby something else's. So, what I've kept for a whole bunch of bait, we'll be paying the rest of my life for. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, live life loving. Yeah, more opportunities to buy fishing equipment. You are not kidding. Yeah, those mono to braid. So normally, most people, their mono to braid connection is with a swivel. And tie knot on one side and tie a knot on the other. But of course, you don't want to have swivels going through eyes of your rod for, because you like your eyes. Yeah, Matt. See, I haven't seen that for double hook rigs. Everybody usually seems to, put the one in line and the one at the bottom kind of thing. Yeah, Brant from Florida. Simple rig he uses, egg sinker, small circle hook. Yeah, they typically call that the knocker rig. Brant, angler up, something with Brant. He's a real estate agent out of the Pensacola area. You've got Bama Bum, Bama Beach Bum. You've got Justin Reed. There's Saltwater something. Aren't they all right? You got Panhandle Blaine. You've got Bearded Brad. There's a whole bunch of people down in the Pensacola area that I also watch Rad Reeling Fishing. He's more South Florida. I like him because he's kind of he's got that everyday thing to him. He's not, he pushes some products, but he's not like some people. There's a lot of YouTubers. I'm not naming names, but you know, every show is, this here is the Shimano Ilaki Daki Donkey 1000. It's the greatest reel I've ever held in my hands. I got it for free. Don't tell me about it. And the line I'm using is this line. And of course, I'm sponsored by them too. And then the rod is this. It's the greatest rod ever. I know because they sent me one free. I hate those. I understand. Now, there's a difference, right? If I like a rod or a reel, I'm going to tell you about it. I love Uncle Lou's rods. I'm not sponsored by him. I like the product. And there's somewhere where there's got to be a happy medium, right? Where everything is not, every video you do is not an ad for a product. But by the same token, I'll watch videos and go, hey, what do you, I'm curious what you're using. What kind of rod, what kind of reel? Because I don't know. So there's a mix there. And I'm trying to find that happy medium. Of course, not being sponsored makes it a lot easier. Yeah, Brant's still doing Danimals. Brant's still doing them. I've seen a couple lately. Now, understand in the winter, fishing gets tougher down there. They don't get as many pompano. And for the people whose videos is just watch me catch fish, there aren't as many fish. Just how it works. Let's see. Animals is in here, obviously. Kevin Fishes, how you doing, my friend? And again, if you came for the deals, you shouldn't be watching this anymore because those deals are over. I'm not talking about them. But yeah, when everybody starts talking about the same lure, oh, this is the lure you need. I'm like, no. And you can kind of watch cyclical things. I remember there was a time when a certain dried Asian carp soaked in oil. I don't remember how exactly they preserved it, but anyway, it didn't spoil. They sent out, my assumption is that they sent out freebies and people, did videos on them. And then apparently there wasn't sponsorship money or something because that they either didn't work or they weren't getting paid for them. I will tell you a story. When I lived in Texas, there was a product that came out. I was bass fishing back then. It was called Fizz, F-I-Z. Old bass people tell you, they used to put Alka-Seltzer inside tubes and stuff so that that effervescent action would just give it, attract the fish. Well, Fizz was kind of built off of that. It was a little pellet that you'd slide on your hook. And it was supposed to attract fish towards your bait. So it wasn't just, you didn't use Fizz by itself necessarily. You used it in conjunction with a tube or a jig or something. Sorry, man, these hairs are trying to go from my mustache are tickling the bottom of my nose. And let me tell you, boy, this one forum I was on, online forum, all people were just praising these as going to be the next sliced bread. Oh my gosh. I went out and bought a pack because I was young, dumb, and stupid. And I didn't see the appeal. Company went belly up. You never heard another thing about how great they were. But boy, there for a while, they were the greatest thing. And that bothers me because an influencer, I understand the purpose of influencers. They're to tell you about products, and honestly, they're to get you to buy products. But people, as more influencers have come around, more wannabe influencers have come around, it's a race to the bottom. Like if 50 pizza joints opened in a small town, it's a race to the bottom. Who can be the cheapest? Well, influencer, who you can buy the cheapest. If a new brand of hooks came out, I'm not throwing shade at anyone. Okay, I'm just speaking from myself. If a new brand of hooks came out that not a big brand, not a big name brand, just a small company, and they wanted to sponsor me, if I liked their hooks, I'd take it and go, okay, so I'm getting some free hooks. But basically all they could really offer, because they're a small company that's just starting out, be free hooks or discounted hooks. That's not a way to make money. It saves you a few bucks. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm happier than a pig in slop to have these river cats tackle hooks that I wanted to draw. I'm thrilled. I'm not knocking anything. I'm just saying, especially when it was bass fishing, and you had the elite, the Kevin Van Dams, uh, the other ones, names. I'll just stick with Kevin Van Dam because it's the only one I can come up with off the top of my head. Denny Brower, the G Money, the G Juice guy, Gerald Swindell, I forget him. So anyway, um, they're high price. Mr. Crappie made a name for himself. He's out of Texas. He made a name for himself. He marketing genius. He's got his name on a whole bunch of products. He makes good money doing that. Kevin Van Dam and others, they make good money off of the products that they endorse, that they promote, etc. If you went to Kevin Van Dam and say, "Hey, man, I'll give you 3 packs of hooks if you'll, tell everybody what great I am," no. So I think as content creators, we all have to be very picky about who we endorse, who we let sponsor us. Let's say that Joe Bob's Rod Company came out with some rods. And he said, "Hey, Mike, you have a lousy show and nobody follows you. But if they did, how about I send you 6 rods and I'll sponsor you?" No, no. But man, that's like $600 worth of rods. Yes, it is. I've not used your product. I'm not selling myself to you for $600. I'm not selling my endorsement to you. If you want to send me a rod, or if you want to tell me where I can buy one, and if I like them, then we can talk about sponsorships. But I've seen people that they take on a sponsor that they've never even seen the product before, but they send them some freebies and said, "Hey, you can be pro staff." Don't do it. Don't sell yourself short. Don't. Your name is the only thing you got going for you. And let me tell you, if you were pushing XYZ sinkers, and I ordered some, and how they could, I don't know, but they all fell apart, I would not trust another thing you said. It's that simple, right? Go back to the read chat here for a second. Um, Everybody's saying hi to everybody else because I'm not worth their time. Leave me alone. All my fish are caught on. There you go, Dan. That's exactly. Yeah, now see, now 922 Crappie Barbecue, Asian carp, they're good fresh. I know that. They're good bait fresh. Um, and Want to be outdoors says he uses a certain brand of stuff, but he bought all the stuff from day one. Danimals, that's a funny comment. He's Mike, how much would they have to send you for Astroglide to be your sponsor? It's funny because I have made the comment on numerous occasions that if Tampax sent me a shirt, I'd wear it for free. I'd wear it out fishing in my videos. Not because I'm pushing their product, but I'm a sucker for free stuff. Um, but you have to. I was sponsored for a while in the bass world. Sponsors loose term, right? Um, I was able to buy some rods half price, very nice rods, very expensive rods. I got some free hooks. I got good discounts on this, that, or the other. But they were all good products. Um, I can't associate my name with something that I don't believe in. It cheapens everything. And I sold cars once in my life, and there was a guy that came in and he traded in he was a really tall guy. He wanted a compact SUV because it would have more height in it. He traded in his car on it on a 4-cylinder Suzuki Sidekick. I was sick making the deal. I wanted to tell the man, just look, run right now. It was a lease. He was going to be paying $300 a month or something. This was 20 years ago. Almost 30 years ago. He was going to be paying $300 a month for 5 years on a lease. It was a bad deal. I knew it was a bad deal. I still feel sick about that deal, even though I was doing what I was supposed to do for my employer, right? He came back a few weeks later and he's like, man, this doesn't have a lot of pep. Could have told you. But he came to me, he came into the dealership. If I hadn't sold him one, somebody else would have. Doesn't make it right. Anyway, still feel bad about that deal. Hey, Fishing Frustrations. A lot of people in here. Wait, where'd he go? I'm thinking a mod removed it. I just saw a lot of my friends something and then nothing. Or maybe he removed it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a paid endorsement, right? I have endorsed these reels at the 20. Well, this particular one was like 15 for the 4,000. It was 20 for the 6,000 size. I'll tell you, I think they're a heck of a bargain at that price, not at 60 something, because then you can get into some pins. But it's an all metal body. It's got 13 internal seals. Have I said that enough times? The drag is very decent on it. I actually believe that they are made by a company called Tsunami, but not a direct rebadgement of the product, because the cutouts on the spool are a different shape. So I think they are actually, made by, just everything about it. Some of the words on it, logos, like this water resistant engineering is on Tsunami in that logo. So that's why, and somebody said that it looked like a model that they no longer make, because it has one ball bearing less than the Tsunami Shield, which is a $120 reel. So yeah, at that price, it's really good. You can't get replacement parts for them. I know that. They're disposable. I hate that, but I understand that. And, an all metal body reel, it's not light. I mean, it's not supposed to be. It's an all metal body reel, right? Anyway, I endorse these. I endorse Uncle Lou's rods. I don't get anything for free. I'm telling you, products that I find that I think are good. I guess I pretty much endorsed this just in the video. I'm telling you, I think it's a good deal for $25. I think it's a heck of a deal for $25. I'm probably going to use this as my saltwater bag until I decide to get smart and actually get a beach cart. The problem is I don't have a pickup truck. I had a pickup truck, then a beach cart would fit in the back just fine. But they don't fold up, not the kind that you want to use on sand, because Florida Gulf Coast sand is a very fine sand. So using rubber tires or pneumatic tires, normal tires like on a dolly and that kind of stuff, they drag through the sand. You need to use these big balloon looking tires that are very thin and very flexible. Anyway, where we go with that. So I think, putting that on my back and putting some rods in my hands until I, fork out a few $100 for a beach cart, probably a pretty good idea. Plus, that way I can also have a bag that, if I'm going crappie fishing with my buddy, I've got, all my mostly panfish stuff and maybe a little bit of bass stuff, just in case he decides he wants to, we start catching bass, right? There's no reason to have my saltwater stuff in there. I don't need to plug this long to go, crappie fishing. Let's see. And Dan started talking about, I don't know, sports or some nonsense. Yeah, Dan says a lot of people don't understand what an actual sponsorship really is. Yeah, a sponsorship, in my opinion, is worth exactly how much you paid for it. It involves money. Now, Pro Staff's different. Pro Staff is freebies. sometimes discounts, but again, if I'm going to be pushing your product, I think I need some kind of compensation for it. If I'm pushing it, if you expect me to push it, how's that? I'll push products all the time. I mean, I love my Ozark Trail insulated cup. They don't give me anything. No notification from my friends at Slick Deals. Not anything fishing related. But I'm hoping another pin goes on sale. The Slammer is a very expensive reel. It's a $300+ reel, but they're going from one version to the next. I'm hoping that comes up. Because man, if it does, I'm done. You don't understand this. I've been fishing literally 2 days in saltwater. I have 3 of these 4,000. I got 3 or 4 of the 5,000, 4, 5,000. I'm sorry, 4, 6,000, and 1 5,000, which they accidentally put in instead of 6,000. I got 2 spin fishers. I got 2 pin pursuits. I've got a pin Fierce 4 that my girlfriend got me for Christmas. I've been wanting one of those. Richard Jean fishes with them sometimes. It's actually it's saltwater rated reel, but it's actually a very nice reel. Most of let me talk about saltwater, just because I know most of you guys are going to be catfish community people and don't fish saltwater. And it's interesting because in the Gulf they all use spinning reels, but on the Atlantic coast they typically use bait casters. Interesting. I don't really understand why so much. I mean, if you're going after gigantic sharks, I get it. The other thing that'll scare you, if you're like me and live sheltered all your life, I thought that sharks were, for the most part, great white sharks, right? They're all going to bite you and kill you. And if there's a shark anywhere near shore, they'll warn you. No. No. Now, if there's a great white, they'll warn you. There are sharks all in the surf. You've got bonnet heads, which are a type of hammerhead, sort of. You've got hammerheads. You got black tip sharks. You have spinner sharks, and the easiest way to tell a black tip from a spinner is if I want to say anal fin has a black tip on it. If it has a black tip on it, guess what it is? That's right, it's a spinner. The black tip has black tips on everything but that one, whereas the spinner has black tip on that one as well. Yeah, okay. And shark regulations are very interesting. There are some that you're not supposed to remove from the water at all. Release it in the water. Yeah, you get to crawl in with that. Great white is one of those type of sharks. And I believe what that means is cut the line. And sharks will get you. I mean, even the little ones they pack a punch. They get you. You can catch stingrays, where apparently sting is a real thing. There are also other kind of rays that you can't keep. Anyway, where I was going with that. So with your saltwater stuff, if any of you do go saltwater fishing, once or twice like I have, you want to rinse off all of your equipment, whether it's saltwater rated or not, with fresh water from a hose. It doesn't have to be from a hose. I guess you could pour it out of a bottle if you felt like it. You don't want to spray it like, with force, like the jet spray, because all you're doing is pushing stuff in, but you're trying to rinse it out. So it's more like, just like you were drinking out of a hose, kind of hose, and just, and go over your rod too, because, your eyelets and stuff, even if they're stainless, saltwater can, stainless does not mean impervious, right? The only freshwater reel that I would take out there would be like the Shimano. What are those? Not the Sedona. It's a different one. The low end one, Sienna. Yeah. Because they're $20, $30 reels, and if they got locked up, then oh well, right? I would not take my high end freshwater stuff into saltwater. But that's me. I'm more scared. I respect that I can run into trouble. How's that? Yeah, Matt says he likes his Ozark Trail water jugs. They keep ice better than Big Brand, and they are a lot cheaper. And that really was it. My daughter actually, my oldest daughter, she got a Yeti back when they first came out, and her aunt got her one for $50. I'm sitting there going, "You paid $50 for a cup." She loved it. She had it everywhere, and I thought that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Now I've got all I ever drink out of is the Ozark Trail version. They're like $10 or whatever. And I'm like, I really do like them. They're nothing fantastic. They're a knockoff. They're derivative work. I don't know how they got around the patent. Maybe there was no patent. I don't know. And for those of you that like review channels, if you haven't found Project Farm, that's a good one to watch. I think I'm pretty sure he was the one that did several different of these type of cups. Ozark Trail wasn't one of them, oddly enough. But different brands and which held ice the longest, which ones were more spill proof than others. It was actually a good video, and he does that on all kinds of different stuff, some tools, some thises, some thatses, a lot about motor oils and lubricants and that kind of stuff. I wish I could teach him to fish or get him into fishing so he'd do some hook reviews. Because I'd really like to see some of the stuff that some of the tests he would perform on them. But whole nother day for a whole nother day. I don't know. Okay. Take care, Matt. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming in. Stone Fly, how you doing? He got a Yeti cup that he bought at a thrift store for $3. It's his father, the groom. Yeah. And the Stanley Cups are all the rage. I mean, people going nuts over those Valentine's cups or the limited edition Starbucks cups. Who cares? There was a fight at a local high school, and a Stanley Cup was used in it. That was the first time I'd heard of Stanley Cups. Like, they got in a fight, girl hit this other girl in the head with a Stanley Cup. I'm like, they have a replica of the Stanley Cup trophy? No, but they do have a nice handle on them for good whacking people. But anyway, it was very, very weird thing. Apparently, the older girl, the senior, her boyfriend was in college, and the sophomore girl showed her a video of her and the other girl's boyfriend, and yeah, that's where that went. Take care, animals. Yeah, the wedding didn't happen. That sounds about right. Truth be told, if the wedding didn't happen, he got off cheap, or she got off cheap. Whoever bought the glass got off cheap. If you ain't sure, man, don't do it. Even if you are sure, it doesn't always work. We all know that. Well, I think there's at least one person still left in the chat. I don't know why anybody's still here. I'm kind of surprised I am. But I want to say, thank you everybody for joining. I've been really wanting to go live lately, mostly out of boredom. At least now I found a reason. So I don't know who's going live later today. Don't know. I don't. Danny Stone did a live earlier today, which is out in Mississippi, freezing his rods off. And yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate all of you. Brenda, thanks again for coming in. I don't know if I've seen you before on my lives. Appreciate it. And I'll see you in lives a lot. And there you go. And Fishing Frustrations UK, man, it's good to see you again. I haven't seen you in a while. John, if I remember correctly. You see a lot more, but time zone differences and everything I get. But good to see you. Thanks everybody for joining. Hope you got something out of this, and like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff that you have to tell everybody to do, because I don't know, nobody knows to do it. But thanks everybody for joining. Till next time, I'll see you guys out on the water. I hope you enjoy my beautiful pajama pants. Oh, where's the button? There's the button.